Okay, so this is lesson 1.3, part 2. Where do I stand? The learning targets we want to hit today are 1. Identify outliers using the 1.5 IQR rule. 2. Make and interpret box plots of quantitative data. 3. Use box plots and numerical summaries to compare distributions of quantitative data. Our scenario: how does my height compare with other AP Stat students? For number 1, here are a set of heights in inches rounded to the nearest inch. Create a dot plot for the following heights. So here's our dot plot. Number 2, what is the median height? Describe how you found it. So for number 2, you should have gotten a median of 65.5. Don't forget to describe how you found it. So ordering the values from least to greatest, finding the middle number. In this case, there were 2 numbers that shared the middle. Then you average the 2 middle numbers. So for number 3, what is Q1, which is quartile 1, and quartile 3? So I would order the numbers from least to greatest, write them out, find the middle, which is 65 and 66. Then I want you to find the middle of the right increment, or the right set of numbers to the right of the median. And to the left of the median, you're going to find the middle of those values, and that'll be your quartile 1 and quartile 3. Okay, so for number 3, if you write out the numbers, you can find quartile 1 and quartile 3 visually. Well, we see here that 65 and 66 shared the middle position in our data, and we found a median of 65.5. Now, to find quartile 1, we look to the left and we work our way in. So not here, not here, not here, not here, not here, not here, but here. So 62 plus 63 divided by 2. And then we do the same thing to the right side. Quartile 1 on the left, quartile 2 on the right. For quartile 1, we should have gotten 62.5. And for quartile 3, we should have gotten 69. So a definition for quartile 1 is just the median of the lower half of the data. And likewise with quartile 2, it's the median of the upper half. Of the data. One thing I want to make sure that you note for yourself is if the median is one of the values in the data set, so if it is, meaning there's an odd number of values, then do not include the median as part of the median, as part of the lower half or upper half of your data like we do here. So only when it's even, we include it in our quartiles. So number 4, Record the following values and then use them to make a box plot. So if you've at least plotted your minimum, your Q1, your median, Q3, and your maximum, that's all you really need to make a box plot. So we're just going to draw a line from our minimum to Q1, and here's where the box starts. Here's our median. Here's quartile 3, and you connect your box and draw your line all the way out to your maximum. And there we have our box plot. So number 4 is asking for the interquartile range, referred to as IQR. We take quartile 3 minus quartile 1. Can you find the IQR? Where do you see the IQR in the box plot? So Q3 is 69 and Q1 is 62.5. When we subtract them, we get an IQR of 6.5. Going back to our box plot, our IQR, our interquartile range, starts from here. IQR starts from quartile 1 to quartile 3. Number 5, an outlier is a data value that is way too small or way too big. So using the rules below, are there any outliers? And be sure to show your work. So with our new outlier rule, we can now find actual outliers. So for Q1, we took Q1 minus 1.5 times the IQR, which we found in number 4, and you should have gotten 52.75, meaning that anything below 52.75, which there's nothing below, is considered an outlier. And likewise with quartile 3, we took 69 plus 1.5 times our IQR. We got 9.75 and got 78.75, meaning anything above 78.75 is considered an outlier. If we go back to our box plot, there's not even any data at 78.75. But if they were below 52.75 or above 78.75, they would be considered outliers. So the big ideas that we talked about in this lesson are 5-number summary, consists of our minimum, quartile 1, our median, quartile 3, and our maximum. We use these to make a box plot. In order to find outliers, we use our rules. So values that are way too small, if it's less than quartile 1, minus 1.5 times our interquartile range, and values way too big, so outliers that are bigger than quartile 3 plus 1.5 times our IQR. These are how we find outliers. And one thing I want you to remember when describing or comparing box plots. So for your check for understanding, I really want you to remember this: shape, outlier, center, and variability. Include your context. And make sure you're comparing and not listing. All right, that concludes today's lesson.